Hi, I'm Rigger, and today I really want to discuss the idea that Salem will love Oscar. Wait.
FBI, open up!
Wait. No. None of that. Alright? No, we're not talking about that. But I do want to take this opportunity to talk about Salem, because we really need to talk about Salem. But before I do, if you like this video, there's a button for that. Please share it around if you know people who'd enjoy it. Let me know what you think of it with a comment down below, and subscribe for more. Oh, and thanks for this, by the way. That's really cool. Feels like just yesterday I was thanking you for 100, so thank you so much. Anyway, Salem. I really like Salem. I do. I think she's really fun, but like a lot of people, I think it's almost accidental on the part of the writing team and the way she's been presented. In fact, the more I learn about her, the more I really like her, but we're currently really walking a very fine line. We're on a razor's edge with her, because she's about to be involved in a lot more of the plot than ever before. And that means now the real directions for her character will come out. It's less that we see her now and then and infer things like before. Now she's an active player, so the details will come out. So this is where we find out what they're really going to do with her, and I would hope that the writing team actually lean into a few of the things that the audience has sort of cultured about her or thought up about her or the general discussion, but I don't think they will. See, there's actually a lot of options with her character, and there's a few that I really hope they don't take. I hope that they really lean into some of those things, because they could just make her flat, cold, evil. But that's an assumption, and I refuse to be locked into assumptions, so I hope they prove me wrong. It's a tough place they're in because we need a big bad. She's literally the unkillable final boss. So everything she does matters. We need to be scared of her, we need to feel her as a threat, but there's an opportunity to make more of her than that. I promise she's shown somewhat accidentally, and that's what this is about. See, they very easily could just make her basically Palpatine. Sit at the back, be running everything, have crazy powers, and basically be a bland monologue machine. But intentional or not, she's shown a lot more character than that. She really has something. People make fun of her because she's not as evil as she's made out to be, but also I like that. There's a twist there, something spicy. But of course, it's not up to me if they're going to take that plunge and delve into her character. But right now, literally these upcoming episodes and volume are the time we'll find out what they're going to do with her. And it all centers on this little farm boy. Because this is the key to finding out who Salem really is. Because you see, Salem is really quite sympathetic. The Lost Fable painted her that way, and some people see that as accidental, I don't know. Yeah, she's evil, and a murderer, and reckless, and powerful, and corrupted, and she's made a lot of mistakes. But she's not emotionless, even after the grim swan dive. She's not bland evil. In fact, even if it's rage, her outbursts and mood swings have only endeared her to me further. I like how human it is. I like that she flies off the handle. I like that she gets frustrated and has that cold mask of an annoyed mother who's been at her job for literally eons and is trying to calm herself while things go wrong. I like her parental scolding, her little moments of wisdom and attempts to educate her underlings. I absolutely love that she can be genuinely surprised by things and be quite emotive. I love that she can switch to this soft but cold, threatening, wooing demeanor to try and sway people. She has flair, she has something. I can't even totally pin it down myself. If they make her just a brick wall of evil, it's such a waste. If you asked me to sum up her character, it'd take me paragraphs. But I worry if you ask some of the writers to sum up her character, they'd do it in 2 short sentences. The ultimate evil, a mortal black queen who controls the grim. And she holds so much more promise than that. But it's been 3 long paragraphs and I haven't delivered on what I promised in the title, so I'll get to that. Oscar. So weirdly enough, from the massive variety of possible directions you could take Salem, Oscar and her reaction to him literally hold 2 of the more interesting ideas, and a terribly boring one, and we're about to sort of maybe find out which one of the 3 paths with him we're about to head down. Now also, I will say real quick, it may not be clear until the end of the season or even next season which of the paths they're truly choosing, and it can take a while to develop a storyline. But to let you in on what I'm talking about, Oscar is a literal vessel for 3 big ideas for Salem. Now logically it stands to reason Salem wants to keep Oscar and Ozpin with her. He knows all about the relics, which she wants. He's a huge pain for her when he's free and helping others, and if she kills him, he'll just come back somewhere else, out of her control. So keeping him a prisoner, perhaps forever, is literally her best option. with that setup, it means that there's a good chance that Oscar and Salem will be spending quite a significant amount of time together, whether like as a prisoner or whatever else. They'll be in close proximity. So this raises some questions. How does she react to Ozpin? How does she react to Oscar? Or will she not react at all? The last one is the horrible one. I'll get that out of the way now. If Oscar becomes part of the story and she treats them, both Oscar and Ozpin, purely as cold and evil, tortures them or with violence, cold and harsh words, purely for her goal, like just another big bad, then my hope sort of dies there. I'm okay for her to be all business at first, but if that's all it ever is, then it's a real wasted opportunity. If she's menacing and scary and threatening to him for a few episodes, then okay, I'm sure that's her plan, that's what she wants to be in her mind, so that's the game plan. But that aside, let's look at the two other options where there's a lot more interest we could pull out of this, a lot more character. First up, how does she react to Ozpin? This one you probably think is obvious, but it isn't when you start inputting how real feelings work. Yes, these are characters and their feelings are whatever you want them to be, but if we input real emotions and draw from their history, then there's a chance that Salem's feelings for Ozpin might become a real factor in this story. And I know what you're thinking now. She murdered him, and their kids got caught up in that, and she spent literal ages terrorizing the man. Rigger, are you forgetting this window-shattering rage out hearing that he'd returned so quickly? No, I haven't, but hear me out. She has spent an unknowable amount of lifetimes after this, stewing on her ideas, winding herself up. She hates him, she hates everything. She sends her minions to kill people. She's presumably been making Oz's life difficult for a very long time. But here's the thing, these are the reactions of someone stuck in their own cycle and telling themselves to think a certain way. However, real emotions work differently. You can never know how you'll react until you're in the moment. I'm trying to think of how to explain what I'm saying, so I'll use myself as an example. I was a groomsman for my best friend's wedding. Everything was really nice, everyone was happy, and I was fine. Then I went to give a speech. I knew what I wanted to say, and my emotions were level. Then halfway through, I got really emotional talking about everything. Not in a bad way, I just didn't know those emotions were really there until I was in the moment. If you've ever been to funerals, like this is another one I went through recently where you think you'll be fine and then you're just not in the moment. These can be positive or negative, happy or sad, and love is definitely one of those things. So, you really don't know how it's going to hit you until you're actually there, no matter what you tell yourself beforehand. I'm talking about a similar thing here with Salem. See, she was pissed here, furious, right? And she's been stuck in this mindset ever since. But what happens when this person who she loved through time is actually face to face with her again? Remember her immediate mood switch the first time? She came out furious, ready to murder whoever was at her door, and saw him and just immediately softened, and that was after the dip in the Grim pools. I would really like to see her rage-filled and cold shell crack actually talking to Oz again. As far as we know, this is the last time they actually saw each other face to face. Many lifetimes ago, in a fight that cost them their kids. Despite her less than humane intentions, she still has all of those emotions in there. She still exists. She's still a person. You know, it's like if any of you have had a huge fight with someone you really care about, be it a friend or relationship or otherwise, you might spend years stewing on it. When they return to your life, some of those real positive emotions and that history doesn't just vanish. All of those things you felt, all those memories you have are still there alongside whatever you may feel now. I think it would be really interesting to see some of that love side from Salem towards Ozpin. Like, you know, she can go up to him mad and angry and want to kill him with burning rage to start, but how long does that actually last in the face of this meeting actually happening again? But of course we have this awkward as hell setup with him being in a young boy's body, so outside of talking we can't explore it, unfortunately, because if Salem kisses Oscar, I will literally yeet my laptop out the window and wait for those FBI to show up. Nope, we can't be doing that. And I really don't think Rooster Teeth wants to deal with all those questions at all, especially given some of the more real life issues associated with that. So just, yeah, no, I don't think we'll see it. But it doesn't really need to be romantic at all. I would still really like to see her emotions toward Oz extend past just what we expected of blind rage and anger and hate, and that's it. It's still the person she loved deeply and had multiple lifetimes of relationship with. Your feelings actually interacting with them again should extend past just that rage and whatever boring hate that we expect. There's more there, or at least there probably should be. The second option, however, is another thing I could really get behind seeing, and that is tapping into Salem's motherly traits. It's part of her character I've always really loved, and perhaps one of the most appealing parts of the way she's been portrayed. It's like she can't help but be a bit of a mum, even if she doesn't want to be. It's actually my favorite thing. She calls Emerald child, she scolds like a disappointed parent, making you tell her why you were out late. She literally does the "I'm not upset, I'm just disappointed" to Tyrion. She gives motherly life advice to Cinder, who she also treats like a bit of a disobedient daughter, even to the point of knowing that Cinder would assume that they know this relationship better than to return empty-handed, like a parent expecting you to make up for your mistakes. It may not be exactly motherly yet, but I love that after being told she's become the greatest monster on the planet, the first thing we see of her is her having a lovely cup of tea in her quaint little kitchen. Look at how she looks at her actual child. It's so sweet. I never want to lose that part of her personality. I want that to kick in for Oscar. She may happily and ruthlessly release grim hordes in cities to murder potentially thousands of children over eons of time on a whim, but face to face with a scared child. Once again, like I said before, if she's actually confronted with that situation and isn't just ordering it out of sight and out of mind for others to do, that her real existing emotions are still present. It would be legitimately hilarious to me, in a very good way for the story, if Salem's resentment of Oz extended to the fact he'd be taking over and taking away Oscar. If she likes the kid, if those motherly protective instincts and hate for Oz mix, and she's upset that a lovely boy like Oscar will lose himself to Oz, who she hates. I don't know about you, but I just think that's actually kind of awesome. Very unexpected and cool. Because imagine it for Oscar, to have Oz in his head telling him Salem is the ultimate evil, whilst on the outside you have Salem being nice and actually mad about the same things Oscar himself is currently mad about. What a unique twist this could be. That'd be exceptionally interesting. That's the kind of thing I want to see. Oscar wouldn't change sides completely or something. Like, he likes our heroes and he sees how evil she is. He knows he can't give up the info Salem wants because what she'd do with it. Salem can't kill him because she needs Oz, and she's fond of the boy. But stuck in his head is the person she's been hating for centuries. And that person in Oscar's head is telling him how bad Salem is while she isn't being that. It's such a fun mix of emotions. And it literally would be playing on a character trait that a lot of people have picked up on about Salem. Her motherly instincts are really kind of present, and I just hope it's not as much of an accident as sometimes it feels like. Also, this kind of story thread goes a long way for my long-held belief that the only way this whole story ends and to beat Salem is an emotional battle more than a physical one. Yes, there'll be fights and all of that, but the idea is you can't kill her physically, at all. I think that's actually pretty great if you lean into the fact you have to beat her emotionally. You need to play on her emotions, and that's why now having her so twisted up in hate is such a hard thing to unravel. This is the opening to start that journey of an overarching story, to find the cracks in Salem's emotional armor and start to learn who she really is, to play on those traits that we've all seen here, whether she likes that they're there or not. The fact that she has somehow managed to have a personality with such little screen time overall, and the fact that it feels kind of accidental, but either way, it's very interesting, and if we lean into those things, we can get some really wacky and unforeseen complications in this plot that could really spice things up. Now, I fully admit I don't know where the story shakes out from there, like the Oscar mother-child thing if it were to happen. I haven't had months of prep and writing time to think it out, this was just rattling around my head more recently. But you could do it. It doesn't write you into a corner or anything. Like, there's no impassable barrier. You just have to find your solution and think it out. So in that case, I'd be really impressed and interested to see them even touch on that kind of avenue for the story. Because we sort of already feel like we know how everything plays out, right? Like, Salem's gonna be evil and they've gotta rescue Oscar and all that, but this would really change out some of what we're all expecting to see. Even if the general plot beats are the same, the character dynamics, if they're completely different than we expected, and we learn a lot more about our big bad and explore more emotions of some of our other characters like Oscar and grow into how he feels, and learn more about Oz even now he's back since he has some explaining to do. Like, this could be really good. It's so fun, especially with Oscar, who we've always seen basically alone. Like, he had his aunt who was an off-screen voice and seemed nice enough. He travelled alone with just Oz in his head, and he was an outsider for the teams for a long time. And he said himself now he'd only finally started to feel like he was who he wanted to be, and that he fit in. To actually provide him with like an on-screen weird parental figure would be really interesting. Anyway, just circling the same idea from here, so I'll wrap it up. If you like this, there's a button for that. Let me know what you think of it with a comment down below. Share it around if you could, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, my name is RWBY. I hope you have a wonderful day. and I hope I did alright.